Ruth Fahy, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. Job done, but it was tight in the end. Tighter probably than Vera Pauw, I'm sure, would have liked.
Yeah, definitely. Job done, as you say, first and foremost, 3 points, but it was extremely tight in the end. I actually went back and watched the second half this morning for my sins. I think they kind of lost the flow of what they had in the first half. Obviously, Greece sat back massively, more than they would have expected in the opening 45, and Ireland had control of possession. And then in the second half, what Greece did, they changed the formation. They brought on a couple of sparky players who first them, and Ireland just seemed to struggle a little bit with that. They lost their momentum, but at the same time, as you say, job done, 3 points, didn't concede as they did away to Greece back in November.
Yeah, and it was such a good time to score, obviously, as well, just before half-time. But in so many ways, Ireland created so many opportunities, got in so many great positions. It was just that final third where it was so frustrating to watch in so many ways, because they were doing what seemed to be the hard work and not being able to put it away. What is that? Rihanna Jarrett obviously just coming back from injury. There's no Leanne Kiernan in the squad at the minute because she herself is injured. Is it down to those small little things, do you think, Ruth, or is there something greater there that they very easily could have come a cropper last night?
I think it's a combination of factors. I think Rihanna was probably nullified last night. She was, it's very tightly marked. Greece had done their homework. The same with Katie McCabe, but I don't think we saw an awful lot of her last night. She did actually move centrally in the second half, tried to get her on the ball a little bit more. Those kind of moments, I think what we see from Ireland, they tend to bypass the midfield. They look for those channel balls into like Rihanna, into Heather Payne, into Katie. Sometimes they come off beautifully, and when they do, they create chances. Often they don't, and it's just about having that alternative when that doesn't come off.
Yeah,
I've got 2 little dogs running around here. I'm just going to let them out.
Oh yeah, listen, that's the important stuff. Don't worry about us if that stuff crops up. Don't worry about us.
But one positive I would say, because we didn't see Katie as much in the ball, because we didn't see Rihanna as much in the ball, we saw other players step up. And for me, a massive positive last night was Ruth Littlejohn. I thought she was absolutely superb. Completely deserved her player of the match performance. She brought so much energy. She kind of filled in that role where Denise O'Sullivan had been. We always see O'Sullivan the number 10. Risha Littlejohn came in there. Denise O'Sullivan dropped back. What that meant was she was able to be more of the engine O'Sullivan, whereas Littlejohn got in the ball, created more things, had 2 massive chances. I think the first in the 55th minute, where she really should have pulled it back for Katie McCabe, and the second in the 75th minute, her shot just drifting over the bar. So I thought she was superb, really was, and a couple of other standouts as well. Denise, as always, we know, I think every game we see, people start to realise that she is literally, as Vera Pauw said, one of the best players in the world. I thought Anya Gorman did really well. I thought she struggled a little bit initially, but I thought she grew into the game. And as Katie was pulled centrally, Anya was able to get more forward and create a couple more attacks. So lots of positives. But as you say, that final ball, it's not quite there yet, and it does kill them at times.
Yeah, and Anya obviously just come in pre-season at the minute as well. That probably she said herself last night after the game. That probably feeds into some of that. How fixable, just in terms of that capacity to be able to? They have scored probably enough goals. I know Vera Pauw was saying after the game last night that they could do with scoring a few more. You would hate to see them be so dominant against another team, for example, and maybe not get that goal. How fixable is all of that, Ruth? Looking at it, you obviously haven't watched it back. How fixable is all of that?
Yeah, I think it's fixable. I don't think it's time to get too harsh in that aspect. Like, when you look at the chances that they had, the 2 best chances, I think, fell to Littlejohn. There's also one early in the first half where Rihanna Jarrett got up the channel and Heather Payne just headed over. It's just about being clinical. It's not as if they're not creating any chances. They created 4 or 5 really good chances, and it's just about taking them. And I think that sentence, we said they're just not being clinical enough, we've actually repeated that after every single game so far in the qualifying campaign. So creativity could be a bit better. They could create more, but it's just about taking those chances when they appear.
In terms of the formation, Ruth, is this where we're set now in terms of what Pauw wants to do? Like, I mean, you mentioned Denise O'Sullivan there and how instrumental she was in the 2 at the base of midfield. You almost get the sense that you could almost anchor that midfield on her own from there, that you could almost push a further body forward if you're in search of more goals. Perhaps if that's what we're talking about this morning, the search for more goals.
Yeah, I think that's definitely an interesting way to look at it. I don't think Pauw would take that risk. As you say, they play like that. They play forward to back, 2 defensive central midfielders, 1 ahead in the 10 position, and 3 attacking players. I think you're right. I think Denise O'Sullivan is that good that she actually could sit in front of the back 4. But as we've said before, she is the engine, but she's also the creator. And if she does step into that creative role, and we do leave that gap in front of the back four. I don't think Pau is going to take that risk in any match. Even Montenegro away isn't going to be as easy as anyone expects. That's on next week, the 11th of March. But I actually think it worked quite well last night. I actually preferred seeing Denise O'Sullivan sitting back. So with the absence of Megan Connolly, it was O'Sullivan and Fahy sitting back in front of the back four. And because Little John has now gone and proven herself, she actually, like I said, she brought the energy. She created. She did track back when she needed to. I thought she was superb, because if we can put her there and keep her there, then O'Sullivan can have that engine roll in front of the back four beside Fahy. I don't think that's going to change. I think Pau has seen something there, and I'm not sure that's going to change next week.
Was there a shift from Greece after about a quarter of the game? Because it seemed in the opening 20 minutes or so, Ireland were constantly putting that ball between the back three and the left wing back, or a back five, whatever way you want to look at the Greek defence. And that ball sort of dried up after a while, Ruth. I'm not sure, was that a shift from Greece, or did they just go a little bit deeper to stop that ball going in?
I think it was a shift from Greece. I think you're right. I thought the opening 20-25 minutes was really calm and controlled from Ireland. You could see, like you said, that channel ball, Rihanna spinning off the central defender was really effective, and same on the other side for Heather Payne. I think Greece kind of wised up to that, after about half an hour or so. And also, it doesn't always work. That's the thing. I mean, you can see very clearly when Dan Caldwell and Louise can get on the ball what they want to do. Sometimes it works really well, and sometimes it just breaks down. And again, it's a final ball that we cite. But I would love to see Ireland actually go through central midfield a little bit more. I've already cited that triangle of O'Sullivan, Fahy and Littlejohn. They're all technically excellent on the ball. I know it's difficult to play against the likes of Greece, who are extremely compact. They don't allow that ball to come through centrally, but we do have that ability. It just rarely happens now. There was efforts made. There was moments where O'Gorman was trying to get Katie McCabe, but she came centrally into feet. It just broke down. I think Ireland are good enough to kind of vary their attack a little bit more, for sure.
It must feel pretty good, though, given Greece were basically time wasting from the 12th minute, and taking time to tie their shoelaces and take kick-outs and free kicks and all that sort of stuff. Must feel pretty good to get the 3 points and come away with a win, and from that perspective alone.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think people will say it was only 1-0, Ireland should have scored more, but I mean, don't underestimate how difficult it is to play against a team like Greece. Like you say, time wasting. The majority of the first half, they had 11 players back in their own half. They're extremely physical. Now, they weren't as nasty last night as they were back home in November. Extremely physical, really hard to break down. And in the second half, they had 2 decent chances that went just wide of Horan's post. So I think you could see, after the game, how delighted Vera Pauw was. I think that was completely justified, because she knew what a big result that is. And the fact is, Ukraine have no points at the moment, but they played Germany twice, Ireland once. They have to go on and play Greece twice, and I can guarantee that they won't get 6 points from Greece. I don't think so at all. And that's what we're looking at in this group. We're looking at second place, hopefully getting one of 3 best runners-up spots, which would mean automatic qualification, or going to the playoffs with the remaining 5 of the teams. So, for me, it was a massive result. I think you could see the smiles on their faces, and they're totally deserved.
We've mentioned, obviously, a couple of the key players repeatedly there, Denise O'Sullivan being one of them, but on Risha Littlejohn, Ruth, obviously, it's almost like, granted she's a player with about 40 caps to her name, but it's almost like finding a new player. I'm sure from Vera Pauw's point of view, she'd been out of the loop a little bit, and then suddenly she gets her move to West Ham. I think she signed up till the end of the season. Is she maybe playing with a bit of a chip on her shoulder now, Risha, in that obviously she'd been out and now she's back in and has really taken her opportunity?
I think she's just playing like a player who just found her confidence again, found her groove again. Like you say, she was involved in the last campaign initially with Colin Bell. She's in for a couple of games, then lost his confidence in her, and she was dropped out of the squad. She played, I think it was with London Bees over in the UK, and then was left out of contract at the end of the 2018-19 season. And what happened is she got a chance at West Ham. She got given a trial. She obviously gave it everything. You can see physically she looks in brilliant shape, like the best I've seen her over the last decade. She's obviously worked really, really hard. And the one thing about Risha Littlejohn is that her technical ability has never been questioned. I think when I was in camp, like literally 9 or 10 years ago, she was there and she was excellent, excellent technically. And we saw that last night as well. So for her, it was just about getting her physical fitness back, getting her confidence back. And she's playing at West Ham, playing alongside the likes of Leanne Kiernan. And you could see that last night, because it wasn't just her ability on the ball. It was when she wasn't on the ball. I was watching her, and her work rate last night was exceptional. exceptional, and she managed to create her own chance in the 55th minute when she actually dispossessed the defender. Like I said, should have pulled back to Katie McCabe in the end and just fired wide. But no, it's someone who's found her confidence. She's a bit of a chip on the shoulder. She's definitely probably got a point to prove. She probably feels like she should have been retained for the entire campaign last time. But it's like you say, it's like we rediscovered a new number 10, and what that gives Vera Pauw is her options. Gives her options in midfield, which is great because we need that. We really need that. And I think, like I said, that was the biggest plus for me last night. Wish she had scored. She deserved it, but she was brilliant.
Yeah, good ground out win in the end. And on to Montenegro. Ruth, thanks a million for taking the call.
Thanks a million, guys. Happy Friday.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
You too. Ruth Fahy on the line there, reflecting on the 1-0 win over Greece in Tala last night, and onwards and upwards for the girls in green. You would hope over the next while we're keeping an eye on them as they progress into next week as well. Right, it's 4 minutes past 8 on this Friday morning. Plenty more to come across the show. Alan Quinlan is going to be with us a little bit later on as well, and we're going to talk to Andy Minton about United last night, the latest episode 2 of the Classic Game Club, was going to be Ireland-France, looking back at the 2006 Nations. But before we finish on the Irish women's team in Tala last night, that win, let's hear from the players. Here's Denise O'Sullivan, the match winner Diane Caldwell, and first the Irish captain Katie McCabe, all speaking to Stephen Doyle.
Ecstatic, really. I'm really proud of how the team performed tonight, how we dug deep, and kept them out and created all the chances, and got the 3 points in the end. That's one of our strengths, obviously, is set pieces, and when you've got Louise and Diane and Ruth Fahy and stuff in the box, you just have to. It's my job to put it in there, and obviously for them to do the rest, and they did that tonight.
Congratulations anyway on your goal. And I was going to say first, you and Louise are a brilliant partnership, but you're meant to be defending, not scoring goals.
Yeah, we're normally keeping them out, but I mean, if a goal comes, we'll be happy to take it. Obviously tried to hit Louise with her height, and she's so dangerous on the set pieces. So we tried to hit her back post, and we worked on me just following in on that ball, whether or not she can get a goalward or just knock it down, and for me to be there in the right place. And it was funny how it all worked out. It was just as we'd planned, so it was nice.
You happy with the celebration?
I didn't quite know what to do, but my girlfriend was in the crowd, so I wanted to go over and dedicate the goal to her, because she'd made all the journey from Germany. So I don't think the other girls were on the same page as me though, so I just left it on my own, so that was a bit embarrassing. But
no, it was brilliant.
It's something we've worked on this week, is obviously that front three, front four going forward, and I thought we created a lot of chances. Any other night we would have put a few more away, but look, we got the job done, and 3 points.
Denise O'Sullivan, I know it's only a couple of minutes after the game was finished, but how are you feeling after the performance?
I'm absolutely delighted. The goal was to go in and get 3 points. We set up to do that, and we got 3 points, and I'm happy. It was a great shift from all the girls, so we're very happy.
Regarding your own performance, is that one of the best you put in the green shirt?
It was alright, I guess. I think the most important thing was the 3 points, and that's what I'll do for the team, is just work hard, put in a shift, get on the ball and try and create stuff. But I think every single player on the pitch tonight was fantastic, and credit to them. It's going to take us time, but as I said, we could have scored more goals. We created the chances, so that's a good sign at least. But I think for us now to work on is just finishing those chances and getting more goals.
You're from not too far down the road here. Is it a bit surreal when you're kind of coming out, leading your international team out onto the pitch like this? Just, I suppose, not a stone's throw from where you grew up.
Yeah, no, it's really special. To lead out the girls, full stop, is an honour. I love it, and to do it in my hometown in Tala is even more special. Having the family and friends in the crowd. I don't get sick of the feeling. Definitely not. It's really special, and as I said, an absolute honour.
OTB AM.